Venezuela's opposition leader at the nation's capital.
But I think it was wise of Machado to do it.
As worries for the future of Venezuela grow, confusion and chaos
Unusual doesn't begin to describe it.
of the recent cuts and reinstatements affecting health agencies, our DC Bureau is live. A special honor for FIU's president.
Represents the best of us. She's a product of this community.
For her leadership and contribution to the Sunshine State. And kickoff to the big game begins. Caplin News is live with all the weekend festivities. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello and good morning, South Florida. I'm Patrick Lober.
And I'm Brenda Miranda. Today is Friday, January 16, 2026.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
A piece of history changing hands inside the Oval Office. Yesterday, Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Prize winner Maria Corina Machado visited Washington, D.C.
The move comes amid growing questions about the future of the Venezuelan government. Caplin's D.C. Bureau reporter, Lucas Bagardis, has more from Washington.
Maria Corina Machado is leaving Washington without any publicly announced commitments from the White House. After a private meeting with President Trump yesterday, the White House has not announced any changes from U.S. policy towards Venezuela. She did, however, leave the president with a gift.
Neither side has detailed what was discussed in the meeting. However, Machado described the conversation as positive. She also met with a bipartisan group of senators, most of which reaffirmed their support for her.
Well, I think she's clearly going to become the president. I think the transition. I think that clearly Trump and Marco Rubio have a transition plan. And we know we'd all like it to happen in a day, but we are making progress.
Members of the Venezuelan community say this meeting offers a sense of clarity.
I think that meeting sent a message. The message that erased any doubt in reference to the relation between the President Trump, the government of the United States, and the democratic movement in Venezuela.
Machado also presented President Trump with her Nobel Peace Prize. The president writing, quote, "Maria presented me with her Nobel Peace Prize for the work I have done. Such a wonderful gesture of mutual respect. Thank you, Maria." In Caracas, Venezuelan interim leader Delcy Rodriguez dismissed Machado's visit, saying, quote, "If one day as acting president I have to go to Washington, I will do so with my head held high, not on my knees."
Machado's Washington visit raises more questions than answers about U.S. involvement, Venezuelan leadership, and who ultimately shapes the country's future. Reporting for Caplin News from the White House, I'm Lucas Bogardis.
A sudden move out of D.C. sends shockwaves through mental health and addiction programs nationwide.
Our D.C. Bureau reporter Cassie Martinez is joining us live from the nation's capital with more on what happened. Good morning, Cassie.
Thank you, Patrick. Brenda, those shockwaves started here when the Department of Health and Human Services notified thousands of mental health and substance abuse programs that their funding has been terminated.
Less than 24 hours later, the agency reversed its decision, but not before confusion spread nationwide.
Unusual doesn't begin to describe it. I have never seen it, let alone on this scale.
Providers were left trying to understand what the notices meant, with little warning and few details.
Believe me, there were people all over the country saying, as of yesterday, before they were restored, saying, we got to shut down today.
Nearly $2 billion was briefly at risk, about 1/4 of the agency's budget. In South Florida, dozens of providers serve thousands who are dependent on federal funding.
On Tuesday night when we were getting word and we were someone said to me, what do we do? And I'm like, I've never seen this before.
After backlash from lawmakers and advocacy groups, HHS restored most of the funding, but left providers on edge.
After the brief moment of celebration last night where we found out the good news, I don't think anyone's like, well, that's that. Kind of have this sense that, yeah, let's be on our guard for what happens next.
Nearly all of the funding has been restored, but providers say the real question is what comes next and whether the stability will last. Reporting live from the nation's capital, Cassie Martinez, Caplin News.
Governor Ron DeSantis announces that new forms of radiation treatment will be coming soon to the Mayo Clinic for cancer patients. According to DeSantis' office, the therapy is one of the most advanced radiation treatment technologies globally. The governor also said that the treatment is the first in America and will have a major impact on Western Hemisphere.
I think this is going to make a big difference, and this is right here in our backyard. No one else is doing this anywhere in the United States. No one else is doing this anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, and I think that this is going to end up doing an awful lot of good.
Previously, the therapy has only been available at exclusive areas in Asia and Europe. The Mayo Clinic expects to offer proton therapy in 2027 and carbon ion therapy in 2028.
The mayor and commission of the city of North Miami honored FIU's president Jeanette Nunez with a key to the city in a ceremony to recognize her distinguished leadership and contributions to the state of Florida. Caplin News reporter Alvaro Acosta filed the report yesterday to give us all the details.
Today, in North Miami, former lieutenant governor and current FIU president Jeanette M. Nunez is receiving a key to the city, an award reserved for those people whose influence passes the political and reaches the community.
January 15th, as President Nunez Day here in the great city of North Miami Beach.
The ceremony brought together city leaders, residents, and community advocates, highlighting the connection between the state leadership and local voices. For many in attendance, the moment symbolized recognition not just for the one leader, but for the shared priorities.
She represents the best of us. She's a product of this community. She has risen to the levels to being an alumni, to now being the president of one of the greatest universities on this planet. Proud to be a Panther, paws up, and I just wanted to be the first one to do it. North Miami Beach was the first one to give her a key, but we won't be the last.
Well, it's for me a huge privilege and an honor to receive the key to the city. I know that the city of North Miami Beach is really important to FIU. It's important to me as president, but beyond that, the students, the residents, the community, that's what I think the beauty is, FIU, our connection to all the community.
City leaders state that this partnership will further strengthen the community of North Miami. This is Alvaro Acosta reporting for Canada.
Get fired up because FIU students take over the Kaseya Center.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Pretty much, we're going to shock a lot of people.
We are live from the Miami Beach Convention Center with more on the events leading up to the big game. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther Tech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The big game between Miami and Indiana may be on Monday, but the celebrations start now. Before the national championship begins, fans are given the chance to start their celebrations early.
Joining us live now is Caplin's Nicolette Espert, who is at the Playoff Fan Central. Good morning, Nicolette. How is it over there?
Good morning, guys. Yes, for those of you waking up with us today and wondering what kind of plans you want in store for this weekend, we got you covered. You might think we're standing in the middle of Hard Rock, but that's not just it. We're at the Miami Beach Convention Center for the Playoff Fan Central, and joining me this morning is the 2026 Host Miami Committee member, Jack Seiler. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, good morning.
Thank you. Joining us, let's talk a little bit about this event that's happening this weekend. Tell us a little bit about what the fans can expect.
Well, the 2026 Miami Host Committee with the College Football Playoff has created this amazing Playoff Fan Central. And as you said, we're out here on a football field, we're indoors, and you're going to see just an incredible number of great events, activities, games, great food and beverage, pictures with the trophies, the rings. It is an amazing complex that's been created here at Miami Beach, and really credit goes out to the College Football Playoff for just really the excitement and the enthusiasm around this whole weekend.
Absolutely. And the Miami Hurricanes haven't been to the championship since 2002. What does it mean that this event is taking place in the hometown of one of the teams competing in the championship?
Well, it just obviously adds to the level of enthusiasm. And then again, there's no shortage of IU Hoosiers coming down. They seem to be coming. You've red all over town, and then you got Miami's green and orange. But I think what's so cool about this Playoff Fan Central is if you can't get a ticket to the game, you're still going to get the feel and the whole flavor of this college football experience. And you're going to be able to come out here, track the history of the College Football Playoff and really track this season, track the teams. It is just an incredible environment, and I think if you're a fan of college football or just a fan of big events, one of the things Miami does great is we host big events. I mean, whether it's entertainment, whether it's sports, you guys know that at FIU. It is a town that loves to host big events, and this is just one more of those events. This is on the scale of a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. You guys heard it here. This is the place to be this weekend. If you weren't able to get one of those mega expensive tickets for the game, these events are happening all weekend, and the best part about it, right, is that it's completely free and open to the public. Well, thank you so much. We're live in Miami Beach for Caplin News. I'm Nicolette Esper.
As fans prepare to watch the big game at Hard Rock Stadium, a big deciding factor are the ticket prices. Caplin's Alejandro Hernandez has more.
There have been many storylines leading up to the national championship. However, none have stood out more than the ticket prices. I'm here at the University of Miami to hear what students think about the cost of being a part of college football's biggest game.
For some students, affordability makes all the difference. One UM student attended the semifinal against Ole Miss at a fair price, but says the national championship is out of reach. With non-ticket holders banned from tailgating after kickoff, I asked how missing the season's biggest game feels as a fan.
Yes, I went to the semifinals and I spent $90 on that ticket.
Compared to how much for the national championship?
For students, it's $500. That's definitely a lot more and out of my price range. Definitely sucks because since I'm not going to the game, I wanted to at least tailgate, and now I can't even tailgate. So I'm going to be watching it from home.
It turns out not only are ticket prices high, but parking adds to the cost. I spoke to another UM student who noted that even with admission covered, parking at Hard Rock Stadium is inflated.
On parking, man, it's just as bad. Like, if I wanted to park my truck there, it's probably like $700, $800 to the point where I'm just getting memes in my feed now. It's like, man, if I just park across the street and get towed, it's probably cheaper to just pay the fee for that than to get a parking. So, yeah, really, really expensive.
He also shared his perspective on the game.
I think this team has battled adversity all season. I think pretty much we're going to shock a lot of people. We're going to be healthy, and we're going to finish strong because we've had a whole season of being doubted. They didn't want to put us in over Notre Dame, and we showed everybody that we're tough. We were built for this, so we're going to finish strong.
At the University of Miami, the excitement surrounding the national championship game is undeniable. However, for many students, the price to attend this game is unreasonable. This begs the question as to whether the experience is worth the cost to attend the national championship game. I'm Alejandro Hernandez reporting for Caplin News.
The Florida Panthers Panthers received presidential treatment when they were invited to the White House by President Trump for their 2025 Stanley Cup victory. While at the White House, the Panthers gifted President Trump with 2 rings from their back-to-back Stanley Cup victories. He was also presented with a Trump number 47 jersey and a golden hockey stick.
But not only did you live up to the sky-high expectations, you gave us perhaps the most dominant playoff run in NHL history.
The Panthers could not stay for as long as they left for their 7 p.m. game against the Carolina Hurricanes, which will be played tonight in North Carolina.
Yesterday night, the Miami Heat lost at home against the Boston Celtics. The Heat came out strong in the first quarter, building a double-digit lead that held through in the first half. After halftime, Miami maintained the advantage, but the Celtics stayed close. The fourth quarter turned into a back-and-forth battle with both teams trading buckets. With 4 minutes left, the Celtics officially took the lead and held on, securing a 119-114 win. The Heat's next game is at home tomorrow night to face the Oklahoma City Thunder, with tip-off set for 8 p.m.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Brenda Miranda.
And I'm Patrick Lober. It's Field Trip Friday here at Caplin News. Today's live studio audience is from Pat Academy. Thank you so much for joining us. Get more news anytime at kaplannews.fiu.edu.